booties are being removed from David Haye's boxing shoes. That was a precaution to try to keep Haye's shoes dry on the way to the ring. Roy Jones, this is the first occasion of this type for David Haye, and that was a very long walk to the ring. Now he will have an extremely long wait for Wladimir Klitschko. Difficult?
Not difficult at all. He's having a great time. Sounds like there are more fans here in his favor than for Wladimir, so I think he'll be fine.
He had to fight his way to get to the ring.
Haye says this is the way he likes it. He thrives off the passion of British fans. He plays to the crowd. He feeds off their energy. He thinks they're going to lift him to victory tonight.
Does he have as much fury as he has sound?
And now, the IBF WBO IBO champion is ready. What will be his statement? Here is the answer from Dr. Steel Hammer, Wladimir Klitschko.
Das T-Shirt, das war geschmacklos. Dieser junge Mann ist einfach nicht reif als Mann und nicht reif noch als Boxer.
Shame on you, man. The new, shame on the new heavyweight champion of the world, the Haymaker. Shame on you.
Ich werde ihn nicht nur besiegen, ich werde ihn bestrafen.
Extra Platz! Extra Platz!
David Haye, hello? Whatsoever, no respect.
I will knock out Wladimir Klitschko.
David Haye is gonna be my 50th knockout.
Das wird meine 50. Knockout-Sieg am 2. Juli.
Boy, this is going to be an exciting fight. Are you ready?
Absolutely. I go and take my brother.
Hat meine Ehre mit Füßen getreten. Hat mich belogen. Hat meine Familie beleidigt. Endlich kann ich mich rächen.
Coming to the ring, Dr. Steel Hammer, Wladimir Klitschko.
Everything is going according to script, but quite possibly there'll be a small wrinkle now as Wladimir Klitschko may be repaying David Haye for Haye's delay in coming out of the dressing room. Would you do that, Roy?
I most definitely would.
More important, I just love the fact that they bring these great old champions here to be a part of this event, to be a part of a torch passing down through the decades. I think our American promoters should take note.
Well, with Klitschko, Foreman, Lewis, and Jones, there are at least 5 former heavyweight titleists in the arena tonight.
What an event.
Wladimir Klitschko, Jim, looks eager to get to the ring.
The picture is presented that Wladimir Klitschko is more emotionally involved in this fight than any other. Will it help him
At
or
this
hurt
time,
him?
ladies and gentlemen, we will honor the 2 world champions with their respective national anthems. First, God Save the Queen.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. God save the Queen.
And now, the national anthem for Ukraine.
Ще не вмерла України, ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Гинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй стороні. swobodu i pokażemy siamy bracia kozackiego rodu.
Ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, willkommen, welcome to the main event of the evening, the unification of the IBF, WBO, IBO, and WBA titles, 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Sanctioned by the BDB, President Thomas Woods, Supervisor Jean-Marcel Nards, IBF President Darrell J. Peoples, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, and IBO President Ed Levine. At ringside, the three judges scoring this bout, Adelaide Bird, Stanley Christodoulou, and Michael Pernick. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee, Enero Gino Rodriguez. And now, for the thousands of fans in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner, wearing red with gold, officially weighing 110 kilograms or 242.6 pounds. He captured Olympic gold in 1996, and now, as a professional, in 58 fights, he has 55 victories, including 49 knockouts with 3 defeats. From Kiev, Ukraine, and Hamburg, Germany, the two-time world champion, reigning, defending, WBO, IBF, IBO, heavyweight champion of the world, Dr. Steel Hammer, Wladimir Klitschko. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the Union Jack, official weight 96.5 kilograms or 212.8 pounds. His professional record in 26 fights, 25 victories, including 23 knockouts with only 1 defeat. He is the fighting pride of London, England, the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion and reigning, defending WBA heavyweight champion of the world, David Haymaker Haye.
Oh, okay.
We'll get out to it. Come on, you guys, let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Come on.
right, gentlemen. You got your instructions. Women do that several times. Protect you several times. Now, touch him up. God bless. Touch him up. Let's go.
David Haye has blown his trumpet. Will he charge?
Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back.
Wladimir Klitschko has swatted away many of these yappy Pekingese. Can he still do it at 35? In weather tonight, fit mainly for walruses.
More than 16 minutes passed between the moment David Haye entered the ring and the opening bell sounded. It's an extraordinarily long period of time. You've already heard Roy Jones offer his opinion, and it shouldn't have been a problem for Haye. He was having a blast playing to the crowd.
He was having a blast playing to the crowd, and he also took his own chance to make Wladimir wait on him to take his shirts off and everything else. So he took advantage of the opportunity, but he turned it around and used it against Wladimir.
Experts agree. Haye's best chances in the fight should come early. The longer it goes, the better it would be for Klitschko in the expectation of most.
As like Emmanuel said, both fighters here have suspect chins, so whoever hits who on the chin first will probably be in control of the fight early.
Against very big men like Belouif, Haye has had an extraordinarily low punch output, looking to explode in certain situations like that. Haye seems to feel he was tackled. I think he mostly lunged off balance, Roy.
He did, but he's looking to land a big left hook right now if he can. He keeps dipping to his left side, looking to come up with a hook on Vitaly and hope that his hands are quicker that he gets there first.
First mistake of the evening on Wladimir. Everybody can make that mistake. Some people feel that Haye is elusive enough that Klitschko will have trouble landing the jab. Emmanuel Stewart says it doesn't matter whether he lands it, it matters whether he throws it.
And that's what's most important, to keep David Haye busy trying to elude the jab.
Haye tries with a long right hand, almost gets to Klitschko's chin. Klitschko fires back with two jabs. Haye misses with a roundhouse body shot.
Klitschko said, yes, speed kills about Haye, but anticipation kills speed. You saw him earlier anticipate those lunging hooks. How long can he do it?
Haye acknowledges it might be difficult for him to win a decision. He wants to knock Klitschko out and leave him, as he says, quivering on the canvas.
Yeah, I don't think either fighter in this fight particularly cares to go the distance. They're not trying to see each other for 12 rounds. The first time we see big punches land, we're going to see big fighters sit down.
Contrast immediately apparent in round one. Haye didn't bother to jab. Klitschko barely bothered to throw any power punches.
Fight at a weight halfway through this round. You're putting good pressure on him. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're cutting off the ring. You got him keeping his head down. Hands, you're doing just right. Perfect. Good call. Maybe start trying a little bit more, but right now you're doing just what you need to do. Creating anxiety, because every way he's going, and he's got something, twitch him, and then do a fast dip left, drop right. That's how you'll get into that range for that right hand. When you drop on that right hand side, when you do it, it's got to be quick. Okay. All right? Settle down. When you drop your hands, and you've got those reactions.
Right here you see Wladimir grab David Haye behind the head, pull him forward while he's trying to throw the big overhand, right? And that's how he ended up on the canvas.
Wladimir got more contact there than I thought he had. One way that big men treat little men in the ring is to throw them around and push them here and there.
Yeah, this is true, but I tell you what, I didn't like the way that Wladimir is trying so hard in that round to hit David Haye. If he continues to try that hard, he may open himself up to be hit.
You're saying he should simply throw more without worrying about whether he's hitting him, right?
No, I'm saying he's trying too desperately to land a big shot. You know how the game goes. Live by the gun, die by the gun.
He landed a stiff jab there. Momentarily knocked Haye back toward the ropes. Haye hasn't really been able to get close in an effective position yet.
We've talked about the ambush or insurgent style of boxing today, with quick fighters standing outside and trying to leap in and surprise and then get out. Haye hasn't been very effective in getting inside at all. He's not jabbing in to get inside. He's just looking for Wladimir to make a mistake, basically.
Well, his big plan was to take away Vladimir's jab. Roy, do you see that happening?
No, he's not taking it away yet, but what he's doing is making Wladimir spend a lot of energy chasing him around the ring. Hopefully this will wear Vladimir's legs down is what he's thinking, and then he'll be better off late in the fight if he can land those haymakers. Right there you see Haye reaching at Vladimir's chin because he has so much ground to cover to try to reach Vladimir's chin. This is why I said what Emmanuel said earlier was not true, because Wladimir is just standing in one place, walking forward, taking one step forward. Occasionally he takes a step back just in case, but he's not moving nearly as much as David Haye is.
Klitschko is landing his jab more than Haye said he would be able to. He finally threw a big right hand a couple of minutes ago and just missed. Another miss over the top of the right hand. Haye shows his elusiveness and hand speed and lands a left hand. First significant landed punch for David Haye. He's getting close with the right hand, but still missing.
Yeah, he's still missing, but like I said, the bad thing about this is that you see Vladimir's neck, you see he's breathing very hard already. This is a pace that is far beyond what he's used to doing because he's so anxious and wanting to knock Haye out so bad.
First right hand lands for Klitschko, and he lands another jab.
Haye has an advantage with his hand speed and also with his inside fighting, because Klitschko doesn't do much fighting on the inside. But Haye doesn't seem willing to risk staying inside. He's trying everything from outside where he has to reach.
Klitschko threw 4 right hands in the round and landed a couple. He seems to be relaxing just a little bit. Beginning August 27, 24/7 comes back with Mayweather-Ortiz. Follow Floyd Mayweather and Victor Ortiz for 4 weeks as they prepare for their welterweight showdown. Then on HBO pay-per-view September 17, it's the live fight between Mayweather and Ortiz. Don't miss it.
Never getting out of bounds. You're making him stretch. He's going to pretty soon get frustrated because he can't get to you. Because everything he's doing, you're playing on those things. Keep doing just...
I'm in the neutral corner, not in the same corner as the boxer.
David Haye's trainer and manager, and some say to a certain degree his Bengali, is the very canny Adam Booth. And Adam Booth was the dominant figure in the rules meeting yesterday, where he spent a great deal of time asking referee Gino Rodriguez to please discipline Wladimir Klitschko against holding.
Well, but it seems to have backfired in the sense that Haye seems more concerned about being held if he gets inside. So there have been very few clinches, and even almost as few exchanges.
Well, thinking about it now, if you remember back in the early days of Klitschko, people often questioned his stamina and whether he was able to breathe really good long in the fight because of how tall he was.
Good right hand by Haye.
He landed 3 of them, including the last one slightly to the back of the head.
That was the first good punch, or clean punch even, that Haye landed.
Didn't seem to have an immediate effect on Klitschko, but Haye gets the greater confidence of knowing that he can reach him now.
Yeah, Klitschko seemed to be bleeding on the nose early in the fight already.
Haye is taunting him still in the ring, saying, come on, come on.
It's almost like Wladimir is too serious.
You think he's locked himself up in some way? You think he's so anxious that he can't throw?
He can throw, but can he continue to throw like this for 12 rounds? That's what's most important.
Well, if he's not getting hit much, he sure can.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Larry, the job ain't to hit him much. The job is to just hit him every now and then because of his suspect chin and the way that he used to tire so badly in the early parts of his career. If you're the smaller man, that's what you're thinking. Avoid his punches, stick around as long as possible. Hopefully you land something good.
Twice in his career, Klitschko is seen to have lost because of sheer exhaustion against Ross Purity and Raymond Brewster.
And if you know this, then your point is to try to exhaust him.
He gets Haye against the ropes and lands a left and a right. Third round, by far the most interesting in the fight. Haye has suddenly become competitive in the round. Klitschko is getting more aggressive.
Haye may think he has him measured a little. He is not moving as much as he did earlier. The second takedown of the fight.
And now, Genaro Rodriguez tells Klitschko not to push down.
Fight could be either way. I don't know who's ahead. It could be either way because nobody's landing much, so they don't know who. So you got to step it up a little bit more to him now, okay? Step it up a little because the fight could be going either way. I don't know. Got to step to him a little bit more. Is that a yellow adrenaline for it? You step it up a little bit. He's getting tired now.
Round 4 begins. Our unofficial score. Harold Letterman is here in Hamburg. Harold, how do you have it so far?
I am, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28. Wladimir Klitschko. You know, Jim, when I took Boxing 101, they told me to keep my hands up. David Haye doesn't keep his hands up. He drops them way down most of the time. And Wladimir just picked them off with that left jab in rounds 1 and 2. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. But in round 3, David stepped up his attack, showed us that even though you keep your hands down, you can land the right hand over the top. Landed the better punches in the 3rd round. I thought he won it. 2-1. Klitschko.
Klitschko just landed a right hand that briefly turned Haye's head to the side.
Haye didn't learn watching Boxing 101. He learned a lot watching Boxing Roy Jones Jr., so he's never going to put his hands up. He'll get knocked out with him right there at his side.
Haye comes from the Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather school of offense. He would rather start with a lead left hook or a straight right hand than begin behind the jab. It makes him more unpredictable, more fluid on offense, a little harder to match up with.
Honestly, and it also puts a lot more pressure on you to have your hands down because now you know you can't make the mistakes that people normally make. You have to be ready at all times to move your head because you're not using your hands for defense.
Well, Klitschko himself drops the left hand, as you see there quite frequently, inviting right hand counters.
A lot of feinting, ducking, not much punching.
Well, in a fight like this, Larry, you know, we didn't expect a lot of punches. We expect for big punches to do big things. That's why you like the heavyweights.
Well, but they're not really engaging, Roy. This is all tactics and not a lot of real action.
Larry, is it up to Haye to make the fight?
It's up to both of them, but Haye, who accused Klitschko of being boring and ruining the heavyweight division by not engaging, certainly isn't an action fighter, let's say, up to now.
Klitschko just missed with the right hand over the top.
The other problem we have is we don't see any body shots. If they wanted to engage more, just go to the body.
Well, big men like Klitschko often avoid throwing body shots because they don't want to be countered. What about Haye?
Well, as tall as Klitschko is, if he threw a straight right to Haye's body, there's no way Haye can really counter him.
Hard right hand by Haye. Seems to momentarily stun Klitschko. Now he's fine.
I didn't think that punch landed clean.
I might have gotten too excited, Larry.
Neither did that one. Neither did that one.
Yes, that last one did.
I guess Harold will be the judge of that.
Get back. He's still in these rounds, maybe good punches. You got to let your shots go a little bit now. When he starts complaining, the referee gets out of the way, go to him right away. You're letting him organize too much. He's not the bravest guy, but he's getting in the way with the fight because you're not pressuring him enough. You got to start stepping to him a little bit more. You understand? You got to pick up the pace a little bit more now. You're giving him too much room. You know, he throw a wide punch and you jump back, the crowd go crazy. It may be the end of you lost the round. So you're going to have to pick it up right. This fight could be up at
Seconds out, please.
4 rounds in Hamburg. Wladimir Klitschko against David Haye for the heavyweight championship of the world. Our truck tells us, having watched German replays of that last right hand, that it did not land.
I could have told him that.
Rain is starting to fall outside the area of the ring, which is covered by the canopy. The rain cannot fall into the ring, but the dampness in the air is palpable. Although we've seen no real slipping and no evidence that the canvas is wet, Roy.
No, we haven't. But David Haye is doing something really smart here. He's talking to Wladimir, trying to make him upset so that he can lose his composure. And with Emmanuel in the corner telling him to pick it up some, they're asking a lot out of Wladimir Klitschko, and I'm wondering if this is going to help him or is it going to hurt him.
Vladimir's taking advantage of the chance while Haye has his hands down at his sides to throw several jabs, landing some. That right hand thoroughly blocked by Klitschko's left.
The thing you don't like about this for Wladimir Klitschko is the fact that in his fights that he loses, he allows guys to throw punches at him like that. He's always better when he's the guy that's doing the punching, not the guy that's getting punched at. Right now, he's not throwing enough big shots at David Haye to put David Haye on the defensive.
He landed a lead left hook a moment ago. It's a punch that he throws well, and maybe he doesn't throw it enough.
David Haye sure looks defensive to me.
He's not defensive. He's just looking to counter and throw one shot. He's not worried about Vladimir's big punches right now.
But there was another lead left hook by Klitschko. I wonder if there's a strategy change coming out of the Klitschko corner. First right-hand thunder of the fight by Klitschko.
And that was a good combination by Klitschko.
He backs away easily from Haye's overhand right.
third takedown.
Some trainers say to bigger fighters, you are the boss, be the boss. But Klitschko may be flirting with a point deduction if he pushes Haye down again.
And he has Haye's nose bleeding now from that last right hand.
Let's go, box.
Now that right hand might have landed.
Without a doubt.
Pretty good round for Wladimir Klitschko, or so it appeared from
You
here.
gotta let punches go. You might be losing the damn championship. I don't know what you believe or not. You let him land a punch at the end of every round. You go it back, let the punches go. When he comes in, hit with a check hook. Don't just jump back and then go back and wait. You got to let punches go. You understand? You're jabbing. You gotta let the shots go. You got a ball out of balance, but you're not throwing enough punches at him. And pick it up a little bit more. Because the fighters are close. Every round he
Right here, you see a beautiful straight right hand behind the jab landed by Klitschko. Left a little bruise on David Haye's forehead and got a nosebleed. Then you see David Haye try to answer with the right hand, and Klitschko just put him back to the canvas once again.
So far, David Haye has been a better salesman than a fighter.
You saw the CompuBox graphic, which indicated that while David Haye has landed 13 body shots in the fight, Klitschko, leading him with 51 landed punches to 36, has thrown every landed punch to the head. Roy Jones's point was not that difficult to hit Haye with a right hand to the body. Maybe Wladimir should consider it. Just misses with the right hand there. You heard Emanuel Stewart's urgency between rounds, and this is something that we have seen consistently from Emanuel in his heavyweight championship fights. He urges his fighters onward with increasing aggressiveness as the fight goes on. Viewers will remember him screaming at Lennox Lewis to knock Mike Tyson out and get it over with.
The first booze of the night.
Well, your point about Haye, Larry, surfaces in that the Brits have finally decided to quiet down. For most of the night, their dominance and noise would have made you think that the Beatles were still playing over in the Reaper Belt. Haye lands a jab. There's a rarity. Another jab from David Haye.
And he's seeming quite comfortable in the ring right now. He's not moving as much. He's staying more set in front of Wladimir. Wladimir is still throwing that good jab, but he's not connecting much.
Well, it looks as though perhaps Adam Booth has mentioned to Haye, you're not going to knock him out unless you stand and fight. There seems to be blood on the left cheek of Wladimir Klitschko. Not sure whether it comes from his nose or whether there's another mark on the cheek.
There's a mark on the left cheek under that left eye.
Yep, a mouse, there it is. Obviously the product of a Haye right hand.
A haymaker.
That's the same place where Cassius Clay cut Sonny Liston, February 25, 1964. Right on the cheek. Klitschko buttoned that round with another quick left hook to David Haye. And Haye couldn't get a lot done in that one.
Listen, I usually say, listen, every time you let this guy...
July 13, it's the premiere of The Curious Case of Curt Flood, an HBO sports documentary examining the life and career of former baseball player Flood, whose fight for free agency forever changed professional sports. On the next Real Sports, a look at one of the wildest, craziest rites of summer. The annual running of the bulls in Pamplona, Spain. Mary Carrillo, of course, no fear, checks it out firsthand.
Seconds out, please.
So we go past the midway point of the fight. Almost nobody thought that Wladimir Klitschko would pound out another routine decision against David Haye, but increasingly it looks as though that's possible. Harold, how do you have it so far?
I agree with you 100%, Jim. 59-55, 5 rounds to 1, Wladimir Klitschko. Jim, I don't know when David Haye's going to start fighting, but he better start fighting soon because he's letting this fight get away. I mean, the guy, he bobs, he weaves, he weaves, he blobs, he makes faces at you, he falls down, but he doesn't punch. If you don't punch, you can't win. Oh, there's a punch.
Huge left hook by Klitschko.
You know, Jim, let me comment on this. I don't think Vladimir's shoving him down that much. I think the guy's falling down, to be honest with you.
And now Klitschko is deducted a point. Despite your opinion, Harold.
I'm not sure that was a good call.
I agree wholeheartedly with Harold that Haye is lunging in, ducking his head, and most of his falls to the canvas have been because of that.
Well, let me point out that I know nobody in boxing who has been more critical of Wladimir Klitschko for holding over the years than Harold Letterman. So when Harold Letterman says he's not holding, that's news.
That was a point that was won in the officials' meeting yesterday.
Exactly right. Credit that point to Adam Booth. He talked his way into that point yesterday. Haye keeps looking at Gino Rodriguez. Frankly, you're fighting Wladimir Klitschko, David. Another right-hand shot by Haye, just short. Klitschko looser with his jab now than in the early rounds, Roy. Not as stiff with it.
No, he's not as stiff with it, but he's not using it enough.
Well, Haye's constantly moving side to side,
which is smart on David Haye's part, because it doesn't allow Wladimir to set that big right hand up.
Lead left hook by Haye.
Haye is fighting virtually a totally tactical fight.
Well, if after all the talk, David Haye comes in and essentially goes away quietly against Wladimir Klitschko, he won't be the first, and he probably won't be the last.
Well, the good thing about this one is we can't say that until the last bell ring.
Yep.
Because he's a very hard puncher.
But to make that count, you have to throw. Because of German television coverage, you cannot see what I'm going to describe to you right now. Emmanuel Stewart has spent the first 30 seconds of the between-round period in the middle of the ring, arguing with referee Gino Rodriguez about the deduction of that point.
You're just walking away and walking him.
coming up. Yeah, you're doing fine, baby. You're doing fine, man.
Punch.
Keep it up.
It's kind of unfair because you'll see right here when David Haye comes forward, Klitschko does hold the back of his head sometime, but all the time, like right there, there's not enough pressure on the back of his head really to push him down. Once again, he's just clinching once the guy gets close to him, which is what a tall guy does. And right there, he just threw a punch and he leaned on it and pushed him down. That's the ones he should get warned for, not the first three.
We've counted 4 pushdowns, rounds 1, 5, 6, and 7. And as we mentioned, Gino Rodriguez deducted a point in the last round. That's why Harold Letterman scored that round 9-9. Klitschko the winner of the round, but a point deducted.
They talk big. Maybe he dreamed big. He ain't fighting big.
Well, he didn't expect to win rounds, and he isn't. He did expect to score a knockout, and he still has 5 rounds in which to do it.
And that's all he's looking for. He's not looking to win a decision.
He's looking to land one punch, Roy, and win the heavyweight championship of the world. That's it?
That's how
That's his whole plan?
That's his whole plan.
Well, ain't a good plan. You can't go into the ring trying to win the biggest title in sport, trying to land one punch in 12 rounds.
Well, you got to think about it like this, Larry. A guy against a 7-foot guy landed 5 scoring punches a round, then turned it off. What was he trying to do? Win the round by 5-1 or 5-2, and he's satisfied. He tells you he's not wasting no punches.
Yeah, well, he's wasting my time right now.
But he's getting paid for it.
There are 2 big men, little men scenarios that work for me. One was Dempsey tearing off after the ponderous Willard, and the other is Michael Spinks boxing and brawling with the older Larry Holmes. This ain't close to either one.
So you trying to say I didn't mix it up with Ruiz?
Michael Spinks would have been flat out ashamed to go into the ring and throw just few punches.
Oh, goodness.
This time, Haye tries to buy a point. That was blatant. And the German crowd boos. The Brits are too deeply in love with this to see it.
Hit me when the fight starts.
As soon as the bell rang, because Emmanuel's going to raise some kind of sand in that corner.
Listen, Vladimir. Your left hook, he's leaning into it, okay. Let your left hook go. He's leaning into it, he's tired. He's not seeing punches, he's got you doing what he's doing now. You know what you're both doing? You're both here doing this, doing this, doing that. Let your left hook go. You hit him with it. He's right now very tired and he's drained mentally. Step to him.
Seconds now, please.
We go to round 9. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the fight, it was the near unanimous opinion of experts that Haye's best chances would come early in the fight, and that the longer it went, the worse it might be for him. Early on, there was tremendous crowd enthusiasm and excitement every time Haye threw a punch. Now, there's a palpable silence in the arena, and Haye lands a right hand to bring the crowd back. His most significant shot in a few rounds. And he follows it up with nothing. So obviously he didn't believe the punch did damage.
No, he's not really interested in landing a bunch of follow-up punches. He only wants to land 1 or 2 big ones every now and then. You got to remember, his nickname is Haymaker. Not boxer, not punch maker, not punch thrower, but Haymaker.
Well, we've seen the absence of jabs. He threw them in 1 round. There's one. But by and large, it's been the lead right hand or the lead left hook. Often at a wild angle. And the right hand for Klitschko lands on Haye's chin. Wladimir Klitschko's best punch in this fight has been his left hook. He's thrown it very sparingly. You heard Emanuel Stewart between rounds begging him to throw left hooks. And he's getting closer with the right hand. That seems to be his focus, Roy.
Yeah, that is his focus, and I think that's his best punch for him. Is a straight right lead because it's safer for him. It lands at a much, much farther distance away, so he can be much more defensive afterwards.
Let's go. Can you take a point away from a fighter to deliberately going to the canvas?
A flopper, a soccer flopper. I don't know that I've ever seen it, but I think Haye flopped twice in the last 2 rounds. Here's the left hook.
It would help him flop more if Wladimir would shoot a right hand to the rib cage every now and then, but he won't.
Well, at the end of the day, it's just something he doesn't do. Hard right hand by Klitschko.
And that's good. It was smart because he's not overcommitting to it, so he can't easily be countered after he throws it.
Well, coming up July 23, we do expect great excitement and a hand-speed extravaganza in Las Vegas between Amir Khan and his most experienced opponent yet, Zab Judah. Let's look ahead to the fight in their words.
This is not a game. This is for real.
I've been in bigger fights than Amir Khan. I've been in bigger showdowns and bigger arenas.
Let's go.
When he gets to the Mandalay Bay on July 23rd, he'll see that only one that's going to leave that ring victorious will be Super Judah.
Fought some great fighters, but I really think he's not a world-class fighter, really, because if you think about it, all the top guys he's fought, Mayweather, Costa Tszyu, Miguel Cotto, he's been beaten by them guys, and he just lacks that world-class level.
July 23, Amir Khan coming off his Fight of the Year win over Marcus Maidana in December against Zab Judah, who took the place of Tim Bradley in that fight, and it's a great opportunity for him. Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored coming to the 10th?
Okay, Jim, 7-1, 1 even, 88-82, Wladimir Klitschko. You know, David Haye's just got to pick up the pace. I mean, he said he couldn't win a decision. He's absolutely given this fight away by not throwing any punches. Wladimir just piling up points with that left jab. David Haye just looks at him, bobs lead, but doesn't punch. In round 9, Gino Rodriguez rightly won Wladimir Klitschko for throwing that right hand. You know, backhand. You can't backhand the guy. You have to hit the guy with the knuckle part of the glove. You can't throw it backhand. 8-1, 1 even, Wladimir Klitschko.
Vladimir's dream scenario coming into the fight, he said, was a 12th round knockout, so that he could have as much time as possible to punish Haye for all the things he said leading up to this fight in the last 2 years, and then put him away. He knocked Eddie Chambers out in the last 5 seconds of the 12th round. He'd love to duplicate that feat here. It's not that easy. More likely, it appears now, the routinely one-sided decision, which has been a feature of the Klitschko's careers, although Wladimir has had 9 knockouts in his last 10 fights.
In this scenario, and in this case, for this fight particularly, I wouldn't be so mad at Wladimir if he won by using his jab and being smart. I mean, we want to see him do things and take risks and do dangerous things, but if he's trying to win this fight and he already has a 7-round lead, why would he take a chance of trying to knock this guy out when it's very possible that this guy could knock him out?
Hey, it's one of the oldest sayings in the sport. Win this one, look sensational the next time.
But, you know, Haye is giving him nothing to fight. Haye is just
another flop,
making a non-fight out of it.
And Gino Rodriguez just told Haye, don't do that again. He's tired of watching the flops.
Well, he smacked Klitschko with a good right hand before he flopped that time.
So it was a combination. A punch and a flop. If you have a problem with Klitschko dominance in the heavyweight division because you think they're just too big for fair competition, you're probably right. The closest anybody came to putting a wrinkle on Wladimir in his last 13 fights was Tony Thompson. He took him into the 11th and landed a few good shots. Tony Thompson, 6'5".
Well, there's another guy that's waiting on him that doesn't like neither one of them, and he has the same animosity that David Haye has for him. And he's not a bad fighter himself. His name is Sasha Povetkin.
But he had a chance to fight Wladimir a couple of years ago and backed out of it, and it's unclear when he'll get a chance to fight the Klitschko.
I just think he wasn't ready to do it.
Hard right hand by Wladimir. Haye grabs him and then tries to hit him in the back of the head.
Let's go. You hit him back. Let's go. Let's go.
And frankly, David Haye's performance in this fight is becoming more and more disappointing with each passing round.
I would say, given everything that led up to the fight, it's humiliating. He has 3 minutes to undo the previous 33.
No, he got 6.
I'm sorry.
Punches landed round by round, and here you see Klitschko dominance again. In every round since the 5th, landing in double figures, landing in double figures, well, excuse me, landing in double figures in most of the rounds, landing more than David in every round.
But you don't punch. You don't punch. He's right, you're tired. You're worried about waiting until the perfect position. Let the left hook right here and go. Don't worry about it being so hard. Just don't let it go. Let it go. You got to pick it up this way or something.
Stewart still wants more. Stewart's like a football coach who wants to build the lead.
And Haye so far seems content to go home as a lucky loser who made a big payday.
With a 50-50 share of the purse. Exactly right. Congratulations on having talked his way into that one. Larry, you made the point before the fight. David Haye was actually the betting favorite in Great Britain. British bookies reportedly made a lot of money off the Ricky Hatton-Floyd Mayweather fight. There's another flop, and now Gino's going to call it a knockdown. That's his answer. You want a flop? We'll call it a knockdown.
He's trying to turn this vast stadium into a flop house.
Well, that was an intelligent way for Gino Rodriguez to take care of that problem.
Very intelligent.
I thought in a creative way. I've never seen that before. If Haye was unsure he was behind in the fight before, he has to know there's only one way he can win it now. What is he made of as a prize fighter?
Yeah, we'll find out right here for sure.
Well, frankly, in the eyes of almost everybody who knows boxing, there was always only one way for him to win the fight. Box. Those people who bet on David Haye weren't betting on him to get a decision over Wladimir Klitschko. They were betting on the knockout.
Yeah, but they were betting also that he would take some chances and risks to get there.
Yeah, and he can't say the ring was wet, was why he didn't take these chances.
I think maybe he's wet the ring.
You're in rare form tonight, Larry. Hard right hand again by Klitschko. Target practice at this point in the fight. Good left hook by Wladimir. Good choice, too. That was the check hook.
Yeah, that's what he should have been doing all along instead of just grabbing him behind the head. If he threw that check hook at him some, he probably would have caught him by now.
The check hook was the punch with which Floyd Mayweather knocked out Ricky Hatton when Hatton walked into it in the 10th round.
I'm going to count you out. I'm going to count you out. Let's go, box.
1 round to go.
This is it, baby. It looked like that was good that he called that knockdown because he had took a point away before. This round, trying to finish up strongly. These guys are not that dangerous. You see, you got him out of balance all the time, but after that, go to him a little bit more. You're fighting a good fight, but you stepped it up a little bit, you stop this guy. You're trying to wait till everything is perfect. You know, this guy's tired. And he never catches you when you punch. You got to remember, he's not a counter puncher. That's what you got to remember. Anytime he punches, he has to run forward. He's not the type of guy.
Here you see the referee is just as disgusted as we are some. David Haye comes in, loses his mouthpiece. Klitschko pulls him forward a little bit, but the referee says, you know what? I took a point from Klitschko. Now it's your turn.
Right in front of us, Carl Froch is standing up and trying to get the British fans into a frenzy for this one last round.
Carl Froch is a very good super middleweight from Britain. I think he'd make a better fight of this.
That's good defense by Klitschko.
It's the typical mode of operation for fighters who lose to Wladimir Klitschko to immediately demand a fight with Vitaly and get in line. I'm not sure how much enthusiasm there's going to be for a David Haye matchup with the even bigger and some think even tougher Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah, I thought he had the best chance by landing a haymaker against this Klitschko than he does the brother. The brother's a lot more disciplined.
That was a good punch.
Here's a hard right hand by Haye. His best shot of the fight. And Wladimir is holding on.
And he's hurt.
It may be because he was stunned by that right hand.
I think he was. It was his longest hold of the fight.
Yep.
And the Brits are up. They've got 2 minutes left in which to wish their man home. And Klitschko has decided to fight back. He wants to answer. He's angry that Haye stunned him with that shot. And now he wants to make his point entirely.
At least Haye is not flapping now.
Wladimir bouncing on his feet. Haye woke him up. Let's see if David can land another one.
He's not giving Haye a chance to build something up off that punch by being offensive instead of just playing the round out because he has to know he's way ahead.
Indeed, since the near knockdown, since the stunning punch by Haye, Wladimir's been more dominant than at any time in the fight.
Yeah, they just traded some really good punches in the ring. Both fighters, I think, landed the right hand on each other.
Clock ticking now, less than a minute to go.
Is it too little, too late?
Haye needs lightning right now. Klitschko just needs to stand up and finish.
Klitschko did his homework because all of David Haye's combinations that he's thrown tonight, Klitschko has been ready and has had the proper defense for them.
It's as he said, anticipation neutralizes speed.
Wladimir Klitschko closing in on his 14th consecutive victory. Ever since he came a cropper against Lehman Brewster, Emmanuel Stewart has been firmly in control of an express at the top of the heavyweight division. 9 knockouts in the last 10 fights coming in. He's still trying to get Haye, but he may not get him here. But he is clearly in control and headed toward an almost certain decision victory, which will keep him securely in control of the heavyweight division.
Why is Haye raising his hand? Is he just happy that this mess is over with?
Delusions of grandeur. Adam Booth is in the ring, giving what for to the referee, Gino Rodriguez. You get the impression, and now Vitaly picks up the argument with Adam Booth, and now Haye's making his point.
Absolutely shocking.
Here's the right hand by David Haye in the 12th round.
Yeah, he threw a left hook lead, followed by a straight right hand, landed flush on the chin, and Wladimir took it very well. However, it did force Wladimir to wake up and start his own offense.
It'd be interesting to see who won the round. It could have been Haye with the one big shot or Wladimir with the 2 minutes of dominance that followed it.
Well, there are a lot of disappointing heavyweight observers here tonight, and there's also another disappointing heavyweight observer right there in the ring because Vitaly wanted to see David Haye's head.
Yep, he wanted to see him knocked down. But it is a likely decision victory. Let's see how Harold scored the fight.
Okay, Jim, I've got it 117, 109, 9-2, 1 even, Wladimir Klitschko. I mean, I thought he just dominated the fight with the left jab. David Haye hurt him in the 12th round. You know, I gave it to David Haye because he landed that one punch and really stunned Wladimir, made him grip, made him hold on. But it was just a Wladimir victory with that jab.
And just to make the point, the graphic did not have the total properly. It was 117, 109, Klitschko at the end of the fight on the Letterman scorecard. Now, officials judges are, 2 of them are from the United States, and they're all pretty respected judges. Adelaide Bird of Nevada, 54 title fights, a veteran. Had Cloud over Mack, or had Mack ahead, and Mack was outboxing Cloud early, but then Cloud knocked him out. Stanley Christodoulou scored 116, 113 for Holyfield in the first Holyfield fight, helping to facilitate the nearly criminal draw in Madison Square Garden. That was an execrable scorecard. And Michael Pernick, 52 title fights, had Wladimir ahead of Tony Thompson when Klitschko knocked Tony Thompson out. And scoring-wise, that was a closer fight than this one is likely to be, in our view. And we await the scorecards here in Germany. Michael Buffer is holding paper in his hand and has his microphone. I'm sure Buffer is waiting for a cue from German television to give the scores. All we can do is wait for German television to decide it's time to give the scores. Buffer is reading them. He doesn't have a shocked look on his face.
Not at all.
It looks fairly ho-hum for Michael, so we continue to await.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards. Adelaide Bird, 117, 109. Michael Pernick, 118, 108. Stanley Christodoulou, 116 to 110. All 3 judges scored it unanimously to the winner. Now the unified world champion, Dr. Steel Hammer, Wladimir Klitschko.
Another victory for Wladimir, his 14th consecutive win. Haye momentarily halts the knockout streak by finishing the fight. Roy Jones, Wladimir Klitschko claimed to us in our meeting with him that at 35 he feels as good as he's ever been. Certainly, if that's possible in boxing, it's only possible for heavyweights. How do you see his career at this moment and how much longer he can exert his dominance over the division?
Well, once again, I'd be wrong if I didn't say it's not only the heavyweights, because Bernard is 46 and still looking better than ever, so
Absolutely.
You can't say that. I think he looked better tonight than he normally looks, and I do think that this can extend his time in the heavyweight division and as heavyweight champ because of his size. He's so big that as long as he stays mobile, and his defense has seemed to pick up a little because he didn't get caught with that big left hook tonight like we would have expected. So I think that he's definitely got a lot going for him, and I think he has a lot more longevity left as champion.
And, you know, as far as Bernard Hopkins is concerned, his edge is craft. Klitschko certainly had a craft edge on Haye, landing 62 more punches, throwing 219 more punches, landing at a slightly higher percentage. But, you know, it isn't just the size, as is the case with Hopkins. And you look at the jabs and see that Klitschko landed nearly 3 times as many jabs. The jab isn't really a big weapon for David Haye. What I'm trying to get to, Roy, is that just as is the case with Hopkins, he has a craft edge over all of his opponents as well as a size edge.
Yes, he does. And the good thing about him is that he's learned more about his craft later in his career than he did in the early part of his career. So he's another guy who's proving now to be a late bloomer in the sport.
German television calls the shots here, as we've mentioned before. So our Larry Merchant, who's now in the ring, looking for interviews with both the winner and the loser, must wait until after German television, until after British television. We go third. So as we wait our chance to hear from Larry and the fighters, let's once again look ahead to July 23rd, Amir Khan versus Zab Judah in Las Vegas.
The word world champion means a lot to me because when I was 8, when I started boxing, I always wanted to be a world champion. To be known as a world champion, coming from a place called Bolton in England, I think it's a big achievement.
Somebody labeled me back in the days the comeback kid. So far, that name kind of stuck with me, the comeback kid. And for some reason, I haven't become 5-time champion of the world for nothing. So, you know, never let no man count you out. Only God is the only one that can say when it's over.
At this level, I don't really want to lose. If I want to become one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, I have to get through the likes of Zab Judah and other fighters who they put in front of me.
Yeah, I feel like I have more to lose than him, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there is no tomorrow for me. And the way I prepare myself is that to keep that thought pattern in my mind.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I really think Amir will overwhelm him with his speed and power, and I think he's going to be pound for pound the greatest fighter in the world sometime soon. But this is a good fight, no doubt about it. You know, Zab will exchange, he will fight. He's got a good corner, he's got an experienced corner behind him.
Hey, one thing about it, the best man gonna win this fight. And who I think is gonna be the best man, of course, my man, my fighter. Of course Zab gonna win, he has to. This is huge for him. He knows it. So this fight right here gonna put him right back on center stage and nobody else duck him.
Yeah, I think the youth is going to beat the experienced guy, and we're here to take Zab out. I mean, there's no joke. I mean, he's a great fighter, but I think his time's up, really.
At the end of the day, you know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, Amir Khan can look back when he's fighting one of the young guys and he can say, you know, hey, I learned my lesson back in 2011 fighting Zab Judah.
We are ready, okay? Capital R. There's nothing you can do to us.
Live on World Championship Boxing Saturday, July 23 from Las Vegas, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Amir Khan versus Zab Judah. Khan trying to continue his drive toward the top of the 140-pound weight class. Roy Jones, we're still waiting to hear from Larry Merchant and the fighters in the ring. We'll have them eventually. What's your take on Khan versus Judah?
It's a high-speed hand race. You know, both fighters have very quick hands. One is a southpaw, one is a tall orthodox fighter. It's a very good fight for both fighters. Whoever wins this fight, I think, will come out and become the leading guy behind the guy that's not in right now for that division. So I think the winner of this fight will be the master of the 140-pound division until Bradley decides to return.
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering where Tim Bradley goes after having decided not to fight Amir Khan in this fight, and that raises questions about his confidence level, about his belief that he could have won the fight, but of course Bradley's looking for other business. He wants to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Of course, there's much more money on a Manny Pacquiao fight, and for him, a loss to Manny Pacquiao, he still could possibly come back and fight Amir Khan. A loss to Amir Khan is no Pacquiao fight. So I think for Bradley, that was a very smart business move.
Speaking of Pacquiao, did you hear that Floyd Mayweather's ready to come back and fight?
Yes, I did. I'm so excited, very thrilled to hear that Floyd is ready to get back in the ring.
Floyd Mayweather has taken a September 17 pay-per-view date against young Victor Ortiz, who earned the right with his spectacular win over Andre Berto in a Fight of the Year candidate a couple of months ago. Let's take a look at the news conference earlier this week, which touched off the build-up for Mayweather versus Ortiz. It was Tuesday in New York. It's worth noting that Floyd Mayweather was extremely disciplined and civilized at this news conference, did not trash talk, did not insult Ortiz, did not really try to intimidate him in the stare down. And Victor, who's brand new to all this, is enjoying his moment in the sun and hoping he can continue the magic that he showed in Connecticut when he came out and virtually without a jab beat Andre Berto with pure power punching. 24/7 begins. It'll be 4 installments starting Saturday, August 27, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern and Pacific time, and then Mayweather fights Ortiz. Pay-per-view, HBO, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific on Saturday, September 17th. And we're back in Hamburg, where in the ring, post-fight festivities continue, and German television and British television are getting their interviews with the winner Wladimir Klitschko and the loser David Haye. One factor we haven't talked about in this fight, Roy Jones, Emanuel Stewart's record in heavyweight championship fights is now becoming epic, and possibly there's some computation that's necessary here, but possibly the best in the history of the sport. We know that Stewart has only lost twice in heavyweight championship fights. Wladimir Klitschko against Layman Brewster and Lennox Lewis against Hasim Rahman, and both of those losses were avenged. He's got about 30 wins. It's amazing. We'll talk about that a little bit later, Roy, but right now I have to cut us off and head up to Larry Merchant in the ring. Go, Larry.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Wladimir. Was that as hard or as easy as you expected?
It was very hard to hit this man. He was definitely fast. He didn't give me a lot of opportunities. He was very backed up and super cautious. So I couldn't really land the good shot because also of the speed. And I've been trying to celebrate my 50th knockout tonight. It didn't work, but we're celebrating with my brother that we collect all of the belts in the heavyweight division. However, it wasn't as spectacular as I was expecting. I've been trying, and by the way, you were showing my so far last fight with Bragimov, I guess. There was 12 rounds, and then I had beautiful knockouts afterwards, and then we're back on HBO with 12 rounds. It's actually kind of funny, but...
Wladimir, were you almost disappointed that he didn't take more risks and try to hurt you?
That's exactly what I was kind of expecting after all the talk, how spectacular he fights, and that's the way he called me out, that he's a spectacular fighter. I didn't see any of that. He was super cautious, he was very careful, and it was kind of the same situation with Bragimov. At a certain time he was throwing some powerful punches, but he didn't let them in the first round, so he's frustrated and he was cautious not to get really hit. And but I also was in defensive style and way trying to count me, which eventually didn't work.
How satisfying is it to you after you genuinely seem to feel that he was more crass than class before the fight, particularly that he wouldn't even shake your hands, in being the boss in the ring tonight?
It's definitely not good for the sport. It's such a classic sport of boxing. There have been a lot of champions as Joe Louis, Mark Schmeling, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Larry Holmes. George Foreman is also present tonight here. And there have been a lot of class in this sport and great behavior. I can't forget Mohamed Ali, I'm sorry. And a lot of more. And I definitely disagree with David Haye as a human to behave himself in the way that he did before the fight. That was definitely disgraceful for the sport, first of all. and I wished that I can knock him out impressively. I've been trying. I had to be smart enough to not let him or give him any chance to...
Is it almost as satisfying to you to make him look scared of fighting you as it would have been to have knocked him out?
He was scared to fight me. It's definitely truth, and I was expecting more challenge in the ring and more aggression. He was super defensive, like all of them. Ibrahim was the same situation. It's very difficult to fight a guy that is backing up and very cautious fight style of very cautious fighter. And that was exactly what David Haye did tonight and didn't give me opportunities.
How much longer do you think you want to do this? You've been so successful, you've been so dominant, you've certainly made a lot of money, although I'm not counting it. Do you see anything on the horizon, or is this so satisfying for you to do still that you want to just march forward?
I actually so super motivated. Now we collected all of the belts in our family, in the Klitschko family, and it's exciting game. And you know what? I'm not really satisfied with my performance tonight because I didn't see impressive knockout of David Haye, and that would be awesome. So I definitely challenge to do better, which means I will continue.
Thank you very much, and congratulations again, Wladimir. All right, here's David Haye. David, how would you rate your challenge tonight?
It was subpar. It wasn't as it was nowhere near as good as I would have liked. He fought the perfect game plan against someone who had, with my particular style. I couldn't push off my right foot. As you can see, I broke my toe, so I was unable to push off with my right foot, which is very frustrating.
When did you break your toe?
I broke about 3 weeks ago. I've been getting local anesthetics in it to try to numb it, but it was only I had to stop my sparring a lot earlier than I had to. I pumped it full of you can actually look at my toe and see my toe here. It's smashed. It's broke there. It's one of those things that injuries happen.
Well, that's going to be perceived, as you know, David, as an alibi.
Yeah. You could say that. I didn't tell anybody about my injury. I didn't want to alert anybody. I was hoping with a local anaesthetic, with a crowd, with my adrenaline, I wouldn't have felt it, but I was unable to come back for a second phase of attack. I was unable to push off my right foot and land my trademark haymaker. It was very frustrating for me.
Wladimir expressed great satisfaction of dominating you after all of the jabber before the fight, and said he thought you fought him scared.
I wouldn't fight him scared. I was trying to encourage him to come onto me. I was dropping my hands in front of him. He's one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I dropped my hands in front of him. I was hoping he would throw more shots. I knew I couldn't hit him at long range because I couldn't push off my right foot.
What are you going to say to the fans who will think David Haye was more sound than fury tonight?
I don't know. I gave it the best I could with the circumstances which they were. I gave it 100%. Every time I launched into the right hand, it falls short because I couldn't implement the game plan I wanted to. Vladimir's a great fighter. He's very big and strong and effective at what he does.